We've never met, we've never prearranged anything. Hold on to that if you will, please. Envelope signed, sealed, dated, and notarized. Would you please, Celeste, reach into the envelope. Pull out the only piece of paper in there. Open it up, and in a loud, clear voice, read what it says.
Someone named Celeste will choose $1.89.
Now, I cannot read minds, but I'll tell you who can read your mind. Your coworkers can read your mind. If you supervise people, they can read your mind. They know what you think about them. And I don't care how hard you try to hide it behind plastic smiles and insincere compliments and phony words, they can read your mind. And that's a problem. Do you know why? Because people tend to live up to or down to what the folks around them think about them. So if on the outside you're saying, you are such a fine employee, I really appreciate all the hard work you're doing, but inside you're thinking, the day you quit, I'm going to throw a party like this company has never seen. They can read your mind, and you are actually making them worse. Which is why if you're going to be a leader, you not only need to approach your job with positivity, you must approach it with expectancy, always expecting the best of all. There was a fascinating study run in San Francisco, California in 1964. A Harvard sociologist named Dr. Robert Rosenthal decided to try an experiment in the power of expectations. He selected one school district in central San Francisco because he deemed it to be socioeconomically and ethnically diverse. On day one of classes, he gave every elementary school student in the entire district a standard IQ examination, tabulated the results, and then deliberately misled the teachers. He told the teachers what he had actually done was administer a test designed at Harvard for the purpose of predicting which students were about to blossom, come into their own, have an educational growth spurt, finally get it. He then randomly selected the names of several students, gave them back to the teachers, and said, according to our test results, we expect these students to blossom this year. Now, teachers, he warned, it is absolutely critical that you don't communicate your heightened expectations of the student to him or her in any way, verbally or non-verbally. That obviously would skew the results and invalidate the test. I don't even have to finish the story, do I? You know what happened. At the end of the school year, he came back and gave every elementary school student in that entire district the same IQ test they had taken 9 months earlier. Listen carefully. Among the students whose names had not been picked as ready to blossom, their IQ score did exactly what neuroscientists would predict that it should do. It stayed exactly the same. But among those few that had been picked as ready to blossom, their IQ score had risen on average 13 points. A few students in the first and second grades saw their IQ score shoot up 30 full points in one academic year. Folks, IQ is never supposed to change. It's supposed to remain static from the cradle into old age. What happened? Well, you know what happened. Something in that teacher's eyes communicated, I believe in you. Every time the teacher came down to little Celeste to ask a question, she'd wait 4 or 5 seconds longer, as if to say, I know you can do this. And those kids dug down deep and came out of their seats with motivation as never before in their lives because one person believed in them. Now, folks, I don't know if their IQ went up or not. I don't even know if that's possible. But I'll tell you, their I try went up. Their I believe in myself went through the roof. Great leaders do not content themselves merely to be bosses. They rather strive to be people blossomers. To believe in people so deeply and passionately that they cannot help but try and live up to what you believe about them. One of the first real magnates in America was Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie was the Bill Gates of his era. He made $600 million in the steel business, and that was a century ago, which in adjusted 2014 dollars, believe it or not, is $310 billion. That's right, 3 times the worth of Bill Gates and Warren Buffett combined. Andrew Carnegie acknowledged openly that he knew comparatively little about the steel business. He openly admitted that he had hundreds of people working for him that knew far more about steel than he ever would. His genius was that he understood people. A reporter asked him one time, Mr. Carnegie, how do you always manage to get the most out of every employee? This is what he said. Whenever I meet a man, I go in looking for gold, not for dirt. He always tried to find the best in every person. On another occasion, he said this: "Whenever I find anything praiseworthy in any employee, I lavish my praise and my approbation upon them." He didn't pick out the 5 things they did wrong. He would pick out the one thing they did right and praise them and praise them and praise them for it. And they kept raising their performance and coming back for more.